Mr. Flatoff, are you prepared to give your opening statement now, or do you want to wait to the end of the state's evidence?
I'm ready now, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Flatoff.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or afternoon. Thank you for being here. I have prepared a statement I had to write out for you to make sure that I cover a lot of the things I want to say here today. The DA here left out a lot of facts in this case. I mean, it was a really nice story that he told you, but it should be marked up as a fantasy. It's not a fact. He's not going to show you this in evidence. All of these things, the allegations he quoted to you, I look forward, hopefully he tells you that same story on closing so you can see the truth behind this. Before I were to read my opening statement, I am pro-police. I have a lot of friends and ex-customers that were police officers, SWAT. Police officers. I don't want this case to. I want to make sure that she's understand. I mean, this case doesn't reflect on all police officers. I think in any profession you have bad actors. Most police officers, I think, are paid well for what they do, but they serve an important part in our community.
Mr. Flatoff, you want to just take a break while we take care of this issue?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Another thing I obviously want to tell you is this courthouse is under construction. They're making a new courtroom underneath us. They put a roof on all summer long, and so I've kind of blocked it out for the last 9 months, but it's very intrusive. So we'll take care of that so that we can be focused on you, Mr. Flatoff. We let them know. We met with them. We told them what's going on here today, and we were sure they would accommodate.
One of the things I think before I read my statement, I want to let you know that if you see me get emotional or something like that, it's not. I'm diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Objection, Your Honor. This is not anything admitted into evidence or relevant towards phase 1.
Right. Mr. Flatoff, let's not get into your medical diagnosis. That is a phase 2 type of thing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll just get right to the statement. I'm going to show you in this trial all the evidence the state has documented in 2.5 years, except all the evidence the state has documented in 2.5 years, except for all they object to showing you. The state cannot prove these charges on the evidence it had, so they edited it. They lied and destroyed what they didn't want you to see. Though when I try to show you this, I suspect they will keep that from you too. 2.5 years after December 5th, 2015, I am still not in possession of original video or audio evidence.
Objection, Your Honor. The court's already ruled the state's in full compliance with its discovery obligations multiple times.
All right. You may proceed, Mr. Flatoff.
If allowed, I will prove this to you too. I have come here today representing myself to tell you the truth. Even the public defenders assigned to this case weren't willing to tell you. I plan to show you police corruption never seen before, though I suspect that everything else will be blocked from use. This is a deadly serious trial. One person already paid with his life, gunned down execution style by police sworn to protect you. I would compare it to 19 Spanish officers and a firing squad standing a man against the wall and pulling the trigger 19 times in the back. I am, without warning, I am going to show you the person killed at a $50 million federal lawsuit against the police that shot at him 19 times. Then they said, fuck that, let him lay there and die, instead of helping him, followed by laughter, bragging, and cover-ups. Bragging, saying that he got one right between the eyes, ha ha ha. So inappropriate, it'll make you have chills. You will not forget the video you see in this case. And then after all of that, they received trophies for their kill on Mr. Funk's birthday. This case makes me so angry. All video evidence multiple different ways for hours after the assassination shows you bragging, bravado. It tells you the officers did not see a gun. They didn't process a weapon. Contrary to what Mr. Seaman told you, the officers seen a gun and opened fire on Mr. Funk. I'm going to show you the video that proves that that is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie that they have gotten away with for 2.5 years in the media. And I'm not going to let that happen here. I came here to prove to you, tell you the truth, not be a nice guy and sugarcoat this disgusting outrage. I don't actually remember December 5th, 2015. All that I know I have in these boxes with me. All this I have had to study every day for 2.5 years. I beg your attention. I beg your attention. The whole state has demanded the truth for 2.5 years. Where they bar me showing you state's evidence, I ask you to investigate video, audio statements, evidence yourself, though I don't know if they will allow you to do this. Know their expert opinions are exactly that. They're experts' opinions. Know that your opinions are not only valid, your opinions are all that matter. The main objective of this trial is to document the facts of this case, show you all that I have learned in 2.5 years. I have a week or two to do this. I will do this as quickly as I'm allowed, as I'm sure you are also underpaid for your duty. The whole truth proven is my goal. I stand here now representing myself because 10 public defenders appointed by Winnebago County have proven to me that they also conspired with the state to prosecute me to help cover up all that really took place by all involved. The flagrant disregard for the truth is astonishing. I want you to be aware of the attempts to omit truth, manipulate this case. Know that they do not want the truth to come to light. Bias is rampant in this case, including the investigation and in many cases lack of investigations. I will do my best to get you the whole truth to where it is denied. I rely on what I believe everyone has, an internal truth or a gut feeling, intuition that points us to the truth of the matter. I am also aware that we can be overwhelmed, tricked, or confused by expert connivers. This case is an officer-involved death case, and as such is regulated by a law called Wisconsin Stat 17547. This law was used like toilet paper by law enforcement involved in this case. I will show you this law if allowed, and throughout this trial, the many ways it was assaulted, even by those legally assigned to the alleged independent investigation. I will do my best to keep things simplified and organized, as many times in this trial things may get confusing. You will also question common sense. This is my first jury trial. Common sense would raise questions about defending myself against such serious charges. Only when you gain your understanding to this case, common sense will show you I had no choice. Usually in court, the prosecutor here has the truth on his side. Things are clearly cut and dry. In this case, lies, half-truths, manipulations, and corruption is on the prosecutor's side. I will prove this to you. I believe in the end, you will agree with me also that if I didn't fight for the truth in my life, no one else would, and the many people responsible for this will go free and free to do it again to somebody else. Many times I fell apart under the weight of this case. Many times I have questioned reality, or if somehow this is my life's purpose. Many times my faith alone has given me strength to sort through all the madness and get back up and fight. I have questioned the reasoning behind the state's case to win at any cost. Only when I am reminded of the $50 million lawsuit the deceased had against his killers, I myself found this hard to believe until I learned all the facts and the truth of this case. the district attorney's truth, law enforcement's truth, are in direct contradiction to video and audio evidence. Where they could, they edited the evidence, including the crime scene itself. Where they couldn't edit or hide the truth, they boldly destroyed it. Make no mistake, they do not want the truth to come out. When things don't add up, hopefully as the trial evidence unfolds, even if hidden from you, your gut feeling will guide you. Rest assured, I will do my best to literally show you the complete evidence in this case. This trial is not a simply who did it as much as it is a matter of who responsible for it happening. And yet it is much more, as you will see in the coming days. At times the truth will be embarrassing and expose issues I'd rather keep private, only I can't. It is the principle behind all I am also fighting for. Ultimately, none of this should have happened or allowed to go this far. On many sides and levels, a lot of people made mistakes. The help failed, and now they are asking for my life as payment for their schemes, as if it were business as usual. At the end of this trial, I will be addressing you again, hopefully with a much clearer picture. I will be asking you to find me not guilty on all charges. The truth and complete evidence would seem an easy expectation when you consider the mission statement of the legally assigned investigators, the Department of Justice, which is, I quote, "In all officer-involved shootings, the Department of Justice is committed to providing an independent, transparent investigation into officer-involved shooting incidents. It is critical to the integrity of all investigations that we take great caution to avoid releasing information piecemeal. We understand the community wants accurate information, and we are committed to conducting an investigation that proves that. I will prove this statement, just like the old officer-involved death law is a paper tiger used as toilet paper to the Department of Justice and the criminal investigators who investigated this case. In a nutshell, with all law enforcement involved, there should be no questions or issues, period. There is literally an army of law enforcement involved in all of this, including, I quote, handlers. Who knew such things existed? Law enforcement handlers in a death investigation. If you think about that, handlers. It's like a hitman's cleaner. That's what I compare that to. I will prove to you that the original evidence in this case that was there is not what was collected by warrants and motions filed to preserve and produce it at this trial. The evidence left is what's left of parts of it, sent through an alleged law enforcement handlers. I am not going to make wild accusations like they have. I am going to show you in their own manufactured evidence. I am going to show you the truth. I, like most, believe in police protections, only in this case has proven to me to question that. Innocent men and police officers don't need to lie, mislead, or confuse, or interfere and manipulate the truth or evidence. They all say they want the truth to come out, so why haven't none of them told you the truth yet? Truth is a powerful thing. It's almost like a permanent stain that no amount of paint will cover or keep it as it keeps coming through. You will see the great lengths that the truth has been attempted to be covered, destroyed and omitted, utterly twisted, only surprised it's still there. Again, I am here to tell you the truth. Prove it by facts, proof of organized criminals and their methods, and at times you may question who the criminals are. So far to date, they all have been allowed to say what the truth is in the media and conspired reports. Today is my day in court to show and prove to you the evidence and the real truth, unquestionable truth. I will confront 2.5 years of one-sided lies and omissions to make sure I show you their methods and manipulations. In the end, I expect I will open your eyes to shocking truths. Simple truth would tell anyone, especially in a case this serious and regulated by laws, to preserve all the evidence in its purest form. What could be more serious, especially that in addition to all of this, there's a $50 million federal lawsuit, and also in the light of how police shootings are in the media. There should be no excuses, lies or omissions, manipulations or destruction. There should be none of what has taken place in this case. Ultimately, I believe you will understand what has happened and why it has happened, then resolve if why is something took place is acceptable. What do you do when you find yourself in a corrupt system facing life or death? You have two choices: lay down and let them take your life, or get up and fight. I have to have faith. And the truth is evident, and I will be set free. Only accept the corrupt reality, or accept the corrupt reality I see and die away. Why should I fight for all when it seems all have failed me? Because it's the right thing to do. Expose the corruption, so regardless, then they cannot hide or lie anymore. Now society will know. This is a fight for many things, and truth is, everyone hasn't failed me yet. One very important thing I am going to prove to you is a letter from an attorney named Cole White to his client Stephen Aredo, person that was in the basement during this, which you will come to see as this trial unfolds, to set the scene, which you will see in fact, as this trial progresses, there is a long and ongoing fight or investigation depending on who's telling the history. The players are the Hell's Lovers outlaw motorcycle gang, Eagle Nation, Michael Funk, who is now deceased, and Stephen Aredo. As best I can say in documented evidence, this case goes back to 2012. I am sure it goes beyond that, but we'll give a quick overview of all what we're talking about, which is in 2012, Neenah Police Department and the Department of Justice and others were investigating the gang mentioned before in records for heroin dealing. I am sure there's more to this, only this is what is on record. So the officers that shot and killed Michael Funk were the officers involved in this bust investigation. Only apparently no heroin quantities were found, only a marijuana bud, which led to a federal lawsuit filed by the gang for $50 million. There is much more details surrounding all of this, including the gang's assassination plots against police, allegedly by the officers' testimony, prostitution, extortion, motorcycle thieves, anonymous undercover informants, the FBI, the ATF.
Mr. Flatoff, could you slow down, because the court reporter is trying to take this down and it's going too fast.
Yes, Your Honor. But again, I will prove these details for you as the trial progresses. The first is the attorney letter Cole White to Stephen Aredo exposes methods of operation, background to establish the extremes that all know about, including the county, all law enforcement and the prosecutor himself. As they all have this long history together, this letter has a federal lawsuit case number at the bottom, filed February 17th, 2016, and reads as follows. Steve?
Objection, Your Honor. Opening statements for something the defendant reasonably expects is to come into evidence, and the court's already ruled regarding the federal lawsuit and this 2012 incident, so I can't believe, based on prior court orders, the defendant's about to read anything that the court has ruled as inadmissible at this time.
Mr. Flatoff, this stuff, I'm going to ask that you move on and not discuss that issue. We can take this up later when the jurors are in the room.
Yes, Your Honor. Now this letter, it's going to be a little bit hard to screw up my speech here because the contents of what I wanted to point out in this letter, but this letter I will read to you again at the end of this trial when you have a more solid understanding of what's going on. And I find it all alarming, and at times I'm shocked by the parallels which I cannot be denied. I know yous will also be asking what the hell. Everyone has said they want the truth to come out. Well, I'm going to spell it out completely for you, assuming they let me. This case is shocking, and I want you all to know and be aware everyone involved here knows about all of this except me. As I said, I have studied this case 2.5 years in a dark cell in Waupun, a maximum security prison where I was placed for a drunk driving while the state put this case off for 2.5 years. You will understand when I say the worst type of criminals are the ones who come to you as a friend in sheep's clothing, or the ones who pretend to be cops or law enforcement, the good guys, or organized criminals. They call themselves wise guys. Years ago they termed this organized crime. Again, I assure you, I will not lie to you. I will not make sensational claims I cannot produce the evidence to support. The truth is I lived in Waupun, a maximum security prison with presumably our state's most dangerous criminals. I'm telling you that truth is a lot different. All these guys, in this case, make the guys in Waupun look like Boy Scouts. My being here is not by choice. Their choices have gotten us all here. Many will try to give you excuses that police got it all wrong, or mistakes were made. That in small part may be true, but truer is that all these guys are trained professionals, and much of this is done on purpose. Think about all of this. If police and all involved made this many mistakes, we are all in danger. Yous will see the effort the state and investigators have gone through in their mission to destroy evidence and the existence of the truth, and in fact conspire together to manufacture their story of truth. I have come to believe I know why, but I will let the evidence and truth tell you first. To get to my defense, I have to go through evidence and investigations and how it all came about. As I have said, I have had to study this case, sift through psychobabble and facts and truth. I ask that you take nothing from no one as true facts until you see and understand the evidence. My goal is the whole truth, complete, original, and unedited. You will find pure evidence isn't available, but through knowing all available evidence, I believe the truth will speak to you anyway. This is a law enforcement dominant case where credibility will have a huge glaring issue. That in itself is shocking, as you will come to see. I don't believe reasonable doubt is a problem. The problem is, since this happened, what has changed and what is needed for change to happen so they cannot do this again. There are days that define you beyond life, and lines in this case, the laws, policies, and procedures aren't new. They are drawn long ago. This case highlights uncountable ways all of these lines are violated. Truth is, this case is a book on exactly what not to do. There are no excuses and no one is above the law. I have had to sit by and watch as my court dates kept being put off over 2 years, and the state got to tell their lies to the public, even release their manufactured videos to the public, editing statements, destroying evidence, while those that are supposed to represent me did nothing. Today I get to start to set the record straight, expose this corruption, tell the truth that all know to be true. I am going to prove all of this to you. The hardest part for me to find answers for is the police investigation's reasoning, trying to apply common sense, while trying to apply common sense. I am not saying every police officer is bad, nor is it unbelievable to find bad actors in any people or class in society. Only this case is shocking. It will open your eyes to police investigations themselves. If criminals could do what law enforcement did in this case, we wouldn't have criminals. Imagine, no need for prisons. All would simply continue doing what they all do. I have seen many TV I have seen many on TV over the years, especially with all police shootings say the whole world's gone to hell. Here is your chance to start the change. I refuse all plea bargains, holding faith that the truth will come out and I will go home. I'm under no belief that I myself can change their methods, but I can open your eyes. I can show you the empire that protects us. The state's prosecution in this case has chosen to weaponize lies, calling it misinformation. Think about that, misinformation. Are they trained in word warfare, propaganda? What is misinformation? I know in my day it was simply called a lie. Now the police, who are highly trained, say misinformation, like somehow that makes it a lying okay. That's it? It's okay to lie if we call it misinformation? You could understand these methods in politics or war, not in law enforcement in our system of justice. When you think you've seen or heard shocking, disturbing truths in this case, know there is a lot more. Also know I have chosen to spare you 3/4 of it, as I simply don't have time to tell you every single lie. I have chosen the worst and most disturbing. Again, I say that this is a law enforcement handled case where credibility is a huge issue, backed by overwhelming proof, makes reasonable doubt time and time again questioned from many angles. Credibility issues are rampant throughout every part of this case. The state's ultimate excuse they use is police privilege, like somehow that makes everything okay. Literally, they can do whatever they want, and if they can't find a misinformation scam, they try police privilege. They literally ignore all laws, due process, and rights, policies and procedures, objectivity, ethics, lie and tamper with all evidence, withholding original evidence, manufactured crimes, and evidence to win convictions. Always holding their trump card, police privilege. Weaponized lies and strategies. This is what I have found at every turn. It's laughable when they talk about a fair trial. I am here because something is seriously wrong, and the fact and truth is as the facts and truth is exposed, I believe you will shake your head back and forth and attempt to make sense of all this. And it seems I have no end. There are parts of the investigation, police, prosecutors, and all they are doing. My attorneys, 10 of them, don't seem to care. Don't even want to see the evidence. Last page. Lastly, I'd like to say it's pretty sad, as you will come to see, a mental health patient because of my current situation of poverty, that I have not provided counsel intelligent enough to tell the truth and defend me in all of this, when the truth is my defense. All yous here, I want yous to know, I alone bring this to you the best I can. I am no attorney, and all I see and hear. Imagine if I were an attorney and a level playing field, the withheld truths I could show you, as if shocking truth I do bring isn't enough. Thank you for all your attention, patience, and understanding. I am sure I will have a learning curve on how to ask questions and use the true evidence in this case. Please know that I am doing my best. Lastly, to help save time and unneeded confusion, I want you to be aware of a few things. And I requested this chalkboard real quick. I need this no more. This book right here is a report done by the Department of Justice. The report I will show you that they're giving to me, this one is 1,384 pages. The report that they released to the media in May of 2016 was 1,488 pages. The report that is in Attorney General Shelley Rush's report is 1,560 pages. but somehow this is acceptable that we get to see 1,500 or 1,384 pages. There's another part of this case to try to simplify this. I kind of broke it down into three things, and I know this might seem kind of stupid, but you've got three groups here, and I call this the law enforcement, Neenah Police Department, Department of Justice is in this box. I'm kind of a visual person, the way I see things, and to me it helps when I break things apart. In this box you have Eagle Nation Cycle, Eagle Nation, or Hell's Lovers, Motorcycle Club, Horning, and over here we're going to have me. The one thing that these two have in common is neither one of them know me prior to December 5th, 2015, so you're going to wonder, how did I get mixed up in all of this? The thing that's been going on since 2012, again, depending on who you ask, if you ask the Neenah Police Department and Department of Justice, you're dealing with an outlaw motorcycle club called the Hell's Lovers, who steal motorcycles. They have this in depositions say that there's police assassination plots, heroin dealing. I mean, everything you could imagine. I mean, motorcycle thefts, extortion. If you believe in what these guys tell you, if you believe what Eagle Nation and Hell's Lovers tell you, they don't do any of this stuff, and these guys watch too much Sons of Anarchy. I don't really know who to believe in 2.5 years of studying this case, because I can tell you these guys, at least one of them that I know for sure, Vance Dalton, the one that they allegedly say I wanted to kill, is the guy that stole my motorcycle and robbed my shop. And I'll get into more of the details behind that later. And I find it really hard to believe that the president of the Hell's Lovers and Michael Funk, the man who was shot and killed, did not know about this. In fact, there's video evidence that shows, and statements that shows contradictions in their statements that I'm going to show you that they did know about this. I don't know so much Michael Funk and Stephen Aredo, but regardless if these people knew about this, they didn't deserve to. Michael Funk did not deserve to die. Not shot down like that. I mean, if it was a mistake, I could see an officer pulling the trigger accidentally, maybe once or twice, not 19 times from 75 feet away from somebody he has known since 2012. The Neenah Police Department and the Department of Justice, like I said, as evidence is brought out in this trial and progresses, you're going to see these very same people worked in the 2012 drug raid, which when the Neenah Police Department, I questioned originally, before I was giving this mountain of evidence in prison. I didn't receive this until May 5th of 2017. I received this from my attorney. And before that happened, I had a lot of questions, as why was the Department of Justice appointed for this? When you see police shootings in our media, be it Appleton or somewhere else, usually it's the next town over, like if this was Neenah.
Mr. Flatoff, I'm going to ask you to focus your opening statements. Remember, I informed you that opening statements is for you to lay out to the jury what either the evidence is going to show or what you're going to present, but you're kind of going off in different tangents. So I'd ask you more focus so we can get this moving.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll wrap this up. District Attorney's story of my stolen bike and robbed business is not accurate, which I will prove to you in statements, audio, and video. The story, even to kill Dalton, does not sound like someone who sold their motorcycle or on a loan. These accusations about killing Dalton, his wife, and kids are also absolutely not true, nor is this 5-minute or 1-minute warning that the police allege they received from me is the reason why they came in shooting. All these allegations the DA has made are not supported by video, audio statements. Officers did not see Funk with a gun. That is a lie, a bold-faced lie. They've been told to the public 2.5 years. I know I've told you that already, but I hope the DA tells the same story in closing so you see all their lies. There's just too many lies to address in this statement to remark on. I will let the evidence show you the shocking truth. And with that, I'm going to rest, and thank you for listening.